your own standards again. Now, listen closely. Here's the thesis. Here's what it really means. When a woman misses you but won't admit it, her behavior becomes a contradiction. She'll reach without reaching. She'll signal without speaking. She'll test without committing. And if you don't understand the psychology, you'll either chase like a desperate man or you'll rage like a wounded man. Both are losses. So, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to climb a reasoning ladder: misconception, hard truth, root cause, cost, reframe. Then, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, what to stop doing, how to regain your frame, your self-respect, and your leverage without becoming manipulative or bitter. Because this isn't about getting her back. This is about getting you back. The misconception is simple. If she misses me, she'll communicate clearly. That's the Disney version of adult relationships. That's the version that
gets men to abandon their boundaries because they're waiting for a clean confession that never comes. Hard truth. She can miss you and still refuse to give you the satisfaction. She can miss you and still believe contacting you makes her lose power. She can miss you and still be unsure if you're good for her long term. She can miss you and still want to see if you've changed. She can miss you and still be addicted to the emotional security you provided while also wanting the freedom of not being accountable. That's called emotional conflict. And when you don't understand emotional conflict, you misread the game. You think her silence means she's done, or you think her small signals mean she's coming back. You swing between hopelessness and hope like a weak man with no center. Why does it happen? Root cause. Vulnerability feels risky. Admitting she misses you puts her in a position where you could reject her, you could ignore her, you could win. And if she's the type who's been hurt, or the type who's prideful, or the type who needs to feel in control, she'd rather suffer quietly than hand you that card. So what does she do instead? She sends signs, not declarations, signs. And signs are dangerous because signs keep you emotionally invested while she stays protected. Now let's talk about the 3 secret signs she misses you but won't admit it. Not the cheesy stuff, not she watches your stories. That's surface level. I'm talking about patterns that reveal internal struggle. Sign 1, she creates contact without committing to connection. You'll notice this. It's the accidental message, the pointless question, the random excuse, the "hey, do you remember that place?" The "I saw this and thought of you." The "hope you're doing well" that feels like a handshake with gloves on. It's contact, but not intimacy. And you need to understand what that really is. That's called a bid, a small emotional bid. She's tossing a pebble at your window to see if you still live there emotionally. Because if she outright says, "I miss you," she risks your response. But if she sends a low-stakes message, she gets information without exposure. She gets to measure your temperature. She gets to test if you're still available. If you respond too fast, too eager, too long, she learns you're still hooked. If you respond cold, she learns she can't just walk back in. And this is where most men fail. They treat the bid like a full invitation. They pour emotion into a cup she barely held out. You send paragraphs. You over-explain. You try to fix the past through one text. You try to prove you're different now. You try to be the good guy so she'll finally realize your value. No, a man with self-respect doesn't get excited by crumbs. He doesn't punish either. He doesn't lash out. He doesn't play games. He just stays solid. He responds like a man who has a life, not like a man who's been waiting. Because the real question isn't, does she miss you? The real question is, does she have the maturity to come correct? And if she doesn't, your job is not to train her with attention. Your job is to hold your frame. Sign 2. She stays close to your orbit while pretending she's not watching. This one hits hard because it messes with your mind. She doesn't talk to you, but she's around. She's watching your stuff. She's suddenly at the same places. She's interacting with people connected to you. She's coincidentally visible. But here's the key. She won't fully step in. She keeps one foot out. That's not random. That's strategy mixed with emotion. She misses the version of herself she felt when she was with you. She misses your presence. She misses the security. She misses the way you made life feel structured. And at the same time, she doesn't want to surrender her independence or admit she made a mistake. So, she hovers. Hovering is a way to keep the door open without walking through it. And you need to label it because when you label something, you stop romanticizing it. That's called orbiting. Orbiting means, I want access to your energy without offering you commitment. It's the emotional equivalent of standing outside a restaurant and smelling the food because you don't want to pay for the meal. And if you're a man who doesn't respect himself, you'll take it. You'll let her feed on your attention. You'll let her keep you as an option. You'll let her enjoy the benefits of your masculine consistency while she remains free from responsibility. You call that love. It's not love. It's unresolved attachment. And attachment without clarity is a trap. Let me ask you a question. If she truly valued you, would she keep you in limbo? Would she leave you confused? Would she send mixed signals and call it timing? No. So why are you accepting it? Because you're hungry. And hungry men don't negotiate. They beg. That's the cost. That's what it costs you. You lose your dignity. You lose your focus. You lose your mission. You lose your ability to walk away from what isn't clean. You stop training. You stop building. You stop sleeping. You stop being present with your own life. You stop. You stop. You stop. And she can feel that. Women don't just respond to words. They respond to your center, your groundedness, your self-control, your ability to be okay without them. And when you're not okay, you become less attractive, even if she misses you. Sign 3. She tries to rewrite the story of the breakup without admitting her emotion. This is the sneakiest sign because it sounds like maturity, but it's often a cover. She'll say things like, "I've been thinking about everything," or "I realize we both made mistakes," or "I hope there's no bad blood." Or she'll bring up a memory, a moment, a song, a trip. She'll soften her tone. She'll get nostalgic. She'll act like she's closing the chapter peacefully, but watch what she's really doing. She's reopening the emotional file, and she's doing it in a way that lets her keep her pride. Because if she says, "I miss you," she has to own it. But if she says, "I've just been reflecting," she gets to be the composed one, the evolved one, the "I'm fine" one. That's called emotional laundering. She's laundering emotion through logic so she can express closeness without looking needy. And the reason matters because it tells you what she wants. Sometimes she wants reconnection. Sometimes she wants closure. Sometimes she wants validation. Sometimes she wants to check if you still see her as special. Sometimes she wants to relieve guilt without actually returning. So you don't respond to the words, you respond to the direction. Is she moving toward clarity, accountability, and respect? Or is she moving toward ambiguity, nostalgia, and free emotional access? Because one leads to something real, the other leads to you being her emotional support ex-boyfriend, and that role will destroy your self-respect. Now let's address the part you don't want to hear. The part that separates men who lead their lives from men who get dragged by their feelings. A woman missing you is not the prize. Your standards are the prize. Your peace is the prize. Your purpose is the prize. Because you can be missed by the wrong woman and it still ruins your life. Let that sink in. You're not here to be missed. You're here to be respected. You're here to build a life that doesn't collapse when one person is uncertain. So here's the reframe. Her missing you doesn't mean you should return. It means there's still emotional residue. And emotional residue is not a relationship. It's just unfinished energy. Now I'm going to give you the archetype. The man who handles this correctly, not the man who wins her back. The man who wins himself back. He's calm, not cold. Calm. He doesn't perform strength, he lives strength. He doesn't send 10 messages to get clarity. He creates clarity by how he moves, by what he tolerates, by what he refuses. He has boundaries that don't require speeches. He has a mission that doesn't pause for mixed signals. He's grounded in reality, not fantasy. He understands a simple law. If someone wants to be in your life, they will make it easy to respect them. This man doesn't hate women. He doesn't talk down on her. He doesn't play manipulation chess. He just refuses to abandon himself. And that's why he's dangerous in a good way, because he's not controlled by craving. He's controlled by values. So when she reaches out with a soft ping, he doesn't spike with adrenaline. He doesn't rush. He doesn't overinvest. He responds with composure. He listens for ownership. He watches for consistency. He sees the difference between a woman who misses him and a woman who misses the attention he used to give. That's discernment. That's called masculine discernment. Now, let's get practical. Here's what you do. Tight sequence. No fluff. First, stop interpreting signs as promises. A sign is not a commitment. A signal is not a plan. A message is not a relationship. You don't build your life on hints. Second, stop rewarding ambiguity. The moment you give her boyfriend level energy for X level behavior, you teach her she can access you without earning you, and you're not doing it out of love. You're doing it out of fear. Third, if she reaches out, match energy, but lead with standards. That means you can be polite, brief, and grounded. You don't punish, you don't chase, you don't audition, you don't confess your feelings first. You don't start processing the breakup over text like a therapist. You keep it clean. If she wants to talk, she can talk like an adult. If she wants to reconnect, she can show it with actions, not vibes. Fourth, redirect your attention back to your life immediately after any contact. Don't let one message hijack your whole day. Don't let one story view derail your discipline. Because that's the trap. That's how men relapse, not with sex, with fantasy. That's called emotional relapse. You relapse into the idea of her. You relapse into the hope. You relapse into the timeline you created in your head. And the cure is action. Physical, concrete, immediate. Train, work, build, sleep, clean your space, handle your money, talk to your boys. Learn something that scares you. Level up in ways she can feel even from a distance. Not to prove anything to her. To restore your own identity. Fifth, if you decide you're open to reconnection, require clarity early. Not drama, not interrogation. Clarity meaning, what do you want? Not, do you miss me? Because, do you miss me? Puts you beneath her. It makes you ask for emotional scraps. What do you want? Puts you in leadership. It forces reality to speak. And if she can't answer, then you have your answer. Now let's talk about the deeper layer because some of you aren't just confused. You're addicted. You don't want her. You want the relief she represents. You want the dopamine hit of being chosen again. You want to feel worthy. And that's the most dangerous place for a man to date from, needing a woman to confirm his value. That's called outsourced self-worth. And outsourced self-worth will make you tolerate anything. It will make you accept disrespect as miscommunication. It will make you accept inconsistency as she's scared. It will make you accept emotional unavailability as female psychology. No, female psychology is real, but it's not an excuse for you to abandon your standards. Let's make this simple. If she misses you but won't admit it, it means there's a war inside her. Desire versus pride, attachment versus fear, respect versus control. But your job is not to win her war. Your job is to remain a man you respect, regardless of what she decides. Because the moment you make her decision the center of your world, you lose your center. And when you lose your center, you lose everything else. You lose time. You lose momentum. You lose your edge. You lose your ability to walk away from what keeps you small. And I'm going to say this clearly because you need to hear it like a slap of reality. If she wanted you back in a clean way, you wouldn't be decoding her like a detective. Clarity feels calm. Confusion feels addictive. So choose calm. Choose discipline. Choose self-respect. Now, does that mean she doesn't miss you? Not necessarily. She might miss you deeply. She might be fighting the urge to call. She might be watching you, wondering if you've moved on, wondering if she made a mistake. But here's the final truth over comfort line. Her missing you is irrelevant if she can't meet you with respect. Missing is a feeling. Respect is a behavior. And you build a life on behaviors, not feelings. So here's your identity reset. You're not the man who waits. You're not the man who begs for clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. You're not the man who trades his peace for temporary attention. You are the standard. You are the boundary. You are the calm in the storm. You are the answer. And when you move like that, two things happen. Either she comes correct or she fades out. And either outcome is a win because you don't lose yourself in the process. If this hit you, subscribe. Not because you owe me anything, because you need a steady source of truth when your emotions try to negotiate with your principles. I'll keep bringing you clarity, self-respect, and the kind of hard guidance that makes you stronger, not softer. And if you're one of the men, choosing discipline over desperation, boundaries over begging, purpose over panic, then you're not alone. You've got a community here that's done being controlled by mixed signals.